Felix is one of the players who's limiting his availability today, so he will be managing his time. Leo.
Hi Felix.
How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You've had an interesting record here over the last 5 years, but you're coming in still as the third seed.
Yeah.
What's the feeling there? How do you find your level, especially after the French Open, becoming the first Canadian to reach the quarterfinals of all Grand Slams? How are you finding your level coming onto the grass?
It varies, you know. It's not maybe as consistent as I would like, but I'm in a good place in my career. I'm in a good place in my mind. I mean, and physically as well. So, you know, if I put all of these things together as I'm preparing for a Grand Slam, obviously, sometimes there's tournaments where you feel amazing and you're practicing and it doesn't go that way. I've had like Grand Slams that this occurred, but. So I'm not really putting too much expectations or thinking too far ahead. I'm going to try to get through the first rounds and then try to, you know, survive day by day. But overall, I'm feeling good, you know, just to answer briefly.
Thanks.
James?
On the protests, obviously Wimbledon raised their prize money by 20%.
Yes.
I just wanted to get your view on why you guys still feel like you need to be protesting, even though there's quite a big...
Yes. No, I think it's important that that it's asked, and I think it's important that the players are together in this, you know, and I think that's our way to show solidarity together as players, as the top players. But also, I think the top players are always looked at as kind of representatives of the rest of the tour, because, you know, Yannick Sinner, myself, and others, and it's been the same. When I arrived on tour, it was the same with the big three. I think they were trying to use their voice, trying to use their platforms to kind of make the changes that they think is good for the bigger group of players. So we're not just representing ourselves, we're also representing a bigger group of players, and there's, I think, still, you know, a discussion and negotiation ongoing. So that's why I think it's important for us to still stick together for now. But it's moving nicely, and the discussions are in progress, and I think there's going to be progress made after the event. So we'll see.
I know that it's not just financially. You talk about welfare issues as well, and you want those conversations to keep going on. With that in mind, I just wondered why the players didn't take up Wimbledon's offer of setting up a player council to discuss those issues.
Actually, it's something that we're looking to do in the future. I think, you know, for all Grand Slams, I think for the players to have a voice, you know, at the table with the Grand Slams, I think it's something that hasn't been done yet, and I know that Wimbledon is ready to do so, and I think obviously you don't set that up in a day. So, but I think in the near future, that's something that players would be welcome, you know, to have, and I think the Grand Slams as well. Just so, you know, when in the future there's, like we have with ATP and WTA, but when there's discussions about, obviously, prize money, welfare, but other things, schedule, and so forth, that there's, you know, also kind of an opinion from the player's perspective as well. You know, obviously the tournament is very important, their perspective, and also they run the event, but sometimes it's obviously good to have the input of the players with certain decisions.
Yeah.
Felix, another question on your shape. After Roland Garros, you had pretty deep words on where you were in your career. You said, I'm not where I want to be, and I have to have a strong reflection, something like this.
Yeah.
Did you have this reflection, and what's the outcome?
Yeah, I've had. I mean, it's tough because at the same time, that was my honest feeling when I finished the match. It was just that I felt that, you know, I'd lost in the quarterfinals, where I felt that obviously there was an opportunity for me. There was an opportunity for Flavio as well. He made it to the finals. I felt that, you know, I had envisioned and visualized to be in that final, and I didn't. So there was a lot of disappointment. But at the same time, I had to come back to training and think about, you know, what was coming soon, right? Which is this tournament. So I think after this tournament, I'll have a bit more time, you know, before the next, you know, Masters in Montreal, before the next Grand Slam to reflect and to see where I'm going next. But I haven't had much time. So, you know, I kind of got back to training. I got back to playing. Like a week later, I was playing an event on grass. So, you know, I kind of decided to opt for the, you know, getting back into competition quickly.
Eva.
Nice cut, Felix.
Thank you.
I've never seen you with the. Was there a reason behind it? Like you're like, I'm shutting my past. Like
2003 haircut. As a kid, I used to always have this haircut. My parents wouldn't really care. They would just.
You didn't do it yourself.
No. I did it here. No, but I always cut my hair pretty short, just a tiny bit shorter this time around.
On what you were just kind of your reflection on the French Open, I wonder if like your thoughts on that tournament, if it made a difference that it was Zverev that won. It's kind of a guy who's been trying to win for a long time, like, you know, someone who's quote unquote supposed to be this Grand Slam champion. Like, is there almost the reaction of like, oh well, okay, this is a guy who, you know, should be winning Grand Slams. Like, that makes me feel a little bit like it was less open, or how did you react to that, I guess?
Well, look, a couple of years ago, I remember the conversation was who's going to be next, you know, after the Big Three era. And it felt like, I think the speech, at least on the outside and even in the locker room, was like everybody's looking at each other like, okay, well, is it going to be, you know, Zverev? There was Daniil was number one, and there was like the younger players coming up, but not as established. And then Yannick and Carlos kind of took on that role. They won the last 9 Grand Slams before Paris. And then obviously at some point there's going to be a new one, right? There's going to be a next one, a third one. So, and I feel like it was deserved. I would think it was deserved for Zverev to win it because he's been the most consistent. He's been the most, the best player and the best after these two. So I think there was just a deserved title, and he showed that, okay, he had the level to win it. So that's just how I feel about it.
Last English.
Just in terms of the pressuring the Grand Slams, Felix,
Yes.
could you see a time when the players that are all independent contractors running around the world would actually not participate in one of the Grand Slams?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I think you said it in your question, we're independent contractors, so we don't, there's been obviously many tries over the decades to kind of have a union or to have a players union, but it's tough to do. And so I don't see it, and that's why I think it's important to reiterate that it's not really a fight like with the tournaments, but it's more negotiation to say, look, whether it's this generation or future generation, there's always going to be talks. There's always going to be communication. There's always going to be negotiation to see what can be done. If that's the maximum that can be done, so be it. But we just want to know if there's margin to improve in different areas, and if there is, it's better for the bigger group of players. It's not individually making a difference for us, but I think when I'm not even going to be around anymore, it's going to make a difference for young players that are coming up and making Grand Slams for the first time, for example.
So it's about communication and transparency.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what we want: communication, transparency, and it's getting better and better. And I've been on tour for a few years, and honestly, it gets better and better. And it's just for that conversation and that negotiation to be constant. I think that's the goal here.